Okay, we're working on some problems where we're given a scenario and we have to figure out which of these equations that they offer us matches that story problem. Let's go ahead and look at this item here, number 6. It says, Coach Dave bought a number of baseballs for the team. Each baseball cost $8. He spent a total of $416. How many balls did Coach Dave purchase? Okay, I want to make sense of this problem again. I'm going to look at it again. And this time I'm going to be using my cube method to figure out which equation matches the story problem. That cube method is C-U-B-E. This is going to be my plan. I'm going to work it out step by step. Now the cube, the C part in cube, stands for circle. It means circle all the math words. I've got students in the room right now, so if I'm looking past the camera, I'm looking at my students, making sure that they're actively listening. I've got one group I want to make sure that they're watching because they had a lot of problems with this, in this item. Okay, so I know it's talking about a coach buying baseballs for a team. Each baseball costs $8. I'm going to circle that $8. And he spent a total of $416. Now my pens won't do some crazy things. Circle this again. And $416 total. How many balls did he buy? How many did he purchase? Now I'm going to underline what it wants me to solve for. And it says, how many balls did Coach Dave purchase? So I underline that. I'm going to put a box around words that kind of give me an indication of what operation I'm dealing with. Because when you're working on matching an equation to a particular story problem, you want to make sure that you have the right operation, because some of these, if you use an inverse operation, you can figure out the correct answer, but you want to write down exactly the way it's phrased. Now it says that each cost $8. He spent a total of $416. How many balls did Coach Dave purchase? Now, because it tells me each costs $8, because it's saying total, it's leading me to think multiplication's going on here. I mean, I don't know how many balls he got altogether, so I'm going to go ahead and say B for my unknown, for my variable. I know that $8, I'm going to go ahead and write like this, $8 times B is going to equal the $416. Now, I wrote it like this because this is pretty much how it phrased it in the problem. Now, I'm going to go ahead and try to find an example of an equation, one of these equations that goes along with that. Now, here it says B times 8 equals 416. When I look at this situation I have here, it tells me 800 times B. I'm sorry, not 800, $8. $8 times B. This is essentially the same thing. Because of the commutative property of multiplication, you can start whichever factor first you want to, whether it's 8 or whether it's B. So right now I'm looking at A. I'm thinking that's matching up with me, and I have $416. They kind of just abbreviated 416. So right now I'm really leaning towards A. I'm really leaning towards it because it matches my equation I came up with. If I look at B, I see that they have division, and I know that's not going to be it. When I look at C, they have the 416 times the B for the variable, standing for the balls, equals 8. So I know this is not going to be correct. The best choice, based on how this was written, would be A. Now, how many of my groups wound up with A as their correct answer? Okay, I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing a whole bunch of groups, they got that. I had one group who came up with something else, and what was it, table 6, that you came up with?
C.
You all said C. Now, you at least realize the operation was multiplication, because when you have a coefficient and a variable, the operation is multiplication, but you got your factors wrong. 416 is not a factor, it's going to be the product. I have a few other groups that raised their hands that got it right. How did you wind up getting that one correct? We'll come over here at table 1.
Okay, so we used the cube method just like you, and we saw the keywords each in total, and we knew that we'd have to multiply. We knew we'd have to multiply 8 by the number of baseballs to get 416. So we got that.
Well, I will say this. I had one of these choices, had addition in it. I could see some kids looking at the word total and thinking maybe they're talking about addition. Usually when we have a multiplication problem going on, we're going to have words like of, a preposition of. They'll usually say of. That gives it away as multiplication. This one didn't have it, but they did have each. They did have total. So we can kind of see multiplication playing in there. Definitely not B or C. Alright, now if I were a random reporter, using our SFA PTM rubric, what score would I deserve, children? I gave my math practice at the beginning. I made sense of my problem. I came up with a way to solve my problem, a plan. I worked out step by step using my cubes method. Also, I showed you my process. And then I gave you a correct answer. Now, it didn't tell me to go this step further, but if I want to figure out how many balls he was able to purchase for $416 total, he bought how many? How many do you think?
52.
52, yeah, because 8, we know we can get 5 groups of 8 out of 40, and then you're left with that 16. You know, you get 2 groups of 8 out of that, so yeah, you can do that one mentally. 52 balls is how many you got. All right, thank you, children.
That's what I thought it was.